Hello guys and welcome back to the F1 Tube YouTube channel, and in today's video I will be previewing the 2019 Canadian Grand Prix. It's a race that gets us F1 fans excited because there's consistent excitement around the Canadian Grand Prix weekends, which you don't get at all of the other races. Going into this weekend's Canadian Grand Prix, it is Lewis Hamilton who tops the championship. He is 17 points clear of teammate Valtteri Bottas after securing his 4th win of the season at Monaco. Vettel is ahead of Verstappen, then it's Leclerc, Gasly and Sainz at the moment is winning the best of the rest championship. Then rounding out the very close bottom end of the top 10, we have Magnussen, then Perez, then Raikkonen. Mercedes are unsurprisingly miles ahead of the rest of the field in terms of constructors' standings. They are over 100 points clear of Ferrari already. What a formidable team they are. Red Bull nestle themselves in 3rd with McLaren best of the rest in the constructors standings. Then we have Racing Point, Haas, Toro Rosso, Renault are only 8th, and then we have Alfa Romeo and Williams. There will definitely be changes to both tables at this weekend's Canadian Grand Prix, but let's quickly have a look at the track. The circuit Gilles Villeneuve has played host to basically most of the Canadian Grand Prix that has served up Formula 1 status there. There are 14 corners that are amongst the 4.361 kilometre tarmac on the track. The first sector will definitely favour Mercedes in the fact that there are a lot of corners, but when it comes to Sector 2 and Sector 3, Ferrari should be expecting to be the quickest in those areas. And of course, ending the lap, you have the infamous Wall of Champions claiming 3 world champions in 1999. And coming at the end of the 2 main DRS straights, turns 1 and turns 13 are the main overtaking opportunities. Now let's revisit last year's race, which wasn't a Canadian Grand Prix that we know and love. It was a very processional race. After starting on pole, Sebastian Vettel led the field away at turn 1, getting a good start, and Bottas got his elbows out defending from Verstappen. They were fighting for P2, but at the end of sector 1, Brendan Hartley had a massive crash, colliding with Williams' Lance Stroll. The hometown hero was out in an instant. And apart from that, nothing else happened. Ricciardo jumped Hamilton in the pit stops for P4. Perez collided with Sainz, but apart from that, nothing really happened. Sebastian Vettel was untouchable, taking his 50th career win in a very Sebastian Vettel drive, getting out in front and dominating. This gave Sebastian Vettel the World Championship lead after Lewis Hamilton came home a disappointing P5. Valtteri Bottas, Hamilton's teammate, came home in 2nd, with Max Verstappen claiming a very impressive podium, coming home in P3. Now, the best Canadian Grand Prix of the V6 turbo hybrid era for me is 2014, and I'm going to do my best to explain what happened in this race. Nico Rosberg started from pole and led the pack away into turn 1 despite getting an inferior start to teammate Lewis Hamilton, but Rosberg locked up into turn 1, Hamilton had to back out of it, and Vettel sneaked into P2. The safety car was deployed after a colossal wreck for Jules Bianchi's Marussia after colliding with teammate Max Chilton. After Hamilton passed Vettel for P2, it would be the 2 Silver Arrows tussling for the lead. After their pit stops, Hamilton emerged ahead of Rosberg and was set to take another Canadian Grand Prix win. But both drivers suffered brake failures. Hamilton's was a bit more, let's say, abrasive. That meant he had to retire from the race, whilst Rosberg was conserving his car, just trying to finish the race. So the 2 Silver Arrows had been dominating, but the charging pack were now charging, and I mean charging towards them. And the charging pack would be led by Daniel Ricciardo, who overtook his Red Bull teammate Sebastian Vettel and Sergio Perez and found himself in P2. The Honey Badger then seized the lead from Nico Rosberg with just a few laps to go. Entering the final lap, Vettel passed Perez for P3. Then on the final lap, Massa had a look at Perez, but the 2 collided and there was a massive shunt into turn 1. Sebastian Vettel just avoided the carnage that ensued. Thankfully, both drivers were okay, but it was Daniel Ricciardo who took his maiden Grand Prix victory ahead of Nico Rosberg and Sebastian Vettel. And interestingly enough, it was the first race of 2014 where Mercedes did not win. Will this be paralleled in 2019? One team that needs to step up big time this weekend is Ferrari, and to be honest, that is similar for the past 5 races. They just have not delivered the pace, and despite Sebastian Vettel coming home in a brilliant second at Monaco, that still hasn't retrieved what has been a dismal season for the Scuderia. However, I think this weekend's Ferrari have a real shot of a strong result compared to how the rest of 2019 has fared out for them. Despite the inevitability of them losing time in the corners, there are long straights that can compensate for that. But as we all know, Ferrari's issue is not just the car, it's the team in general, and even if they do have a good car on track this weekend, I'm not sure the team can match Mercedes. Moving on, my pick for Trackmaster for the Canadian Grand Prix is Lewis Hamilton. From the start, Lewis Hamilton has always been quick around the Canadian Grand Prix circuit, and that is evident through Hamilton's domination of the Grand Prix in 2007, taking his first win a day later after taking his first pole in F1. And since then he has scored 5 more victories at the Canadian Grand Prix, coming in 2010, 2012, 2015, 2016 and 2017. Now my predictions, and I'm going to stick my neck out a little here, and I'm going to say Sebastian Vettel will score his first pole position of 2019 and his first pole position since the German Grand Prix last year. I think the combination of Vettel, the Ferrari car and the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve will be absolutely perfect on Saturday afternoon. I predict a Mercedes 2-3 with Bottas heading Hamilton. But come Sunday, I predict Valtteri Bottas to take his 3rd win of the season ahead of Vettel, and Hamilton I am placing in 3rd. For me, it's between Hamilton or Verstappen for 3rd. I think Verstappen will really be on it this weekend, like he has been really for the whole of this season. Despite me predicting him to take the fastest lap, I just predict Leclerc will struggle this weekend. I just don't think he's got on top of being a Ferrari driver just yet. Moving on to the best of the rest predictions, I think Haas will fare very well this weekend. I think the Ferrari power will be paramount for the midfield teams, and I predict Grosjean to get the better of Magnussen, with Raikkonen in 3rd. What I will say though, do not rule out Racing Point, McLaren or Toro Rosso. I see true potential in those 3 teams this weekend. But guys, that is it for today's preview. Please like this video, comment down below what you thought of this video, and please subscribe to the F1 Tube YouTube channel. I want to really improve this channel, and that's through you guys, so please hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. But guys, until next time guys, see you later.